back to my channel. This is Chioma Stitches and my name is Chioma. So today we are going to be making a beautiful beach outfit, and this is the fabric I'm going to be using to make it. Okay, this is a lace fabric. Now I'm thinking the lining for the lining fabric, I'm going to be making a short. So I'm going to start off with the lace piece first, okay, because the joining of the short and the lace piece is going to be at the waistline. The skirt part of the gown is going to be having an asymmetric end, which means the sides of the skirt part is not going to be equal. So I'm going to be cutting it, leaving it like so, okay, and then I'm going to cut out the waist area like a circle skirt. Now I have something similar like this on this channel. I'm going to leave the link in the description box. That is the skirt you are seeing on the left hand side of this video. So I'm going to leave the link to that in the description box. You can check it out. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut out my waistline divided by 4. Because I'll be having zipper at the back of this dress, so I'm going to include the zipper allowance when I am cutting the waistline. Okay, so from the top here, I'm going to come down by 4 inches. And I'm going to make a circle. What I have here is 7 inches, and I'm going to be cutting it just a little bit below these 7 inches because the waistline I'm working with is 28 inches. So 7 inches is perfect. 7 times 4 is 28 inches. But because of the sewing allowance, I'm going to be cutting my part. I'm going to be cutting it like 0.3 inches below the marking I have made, so that we'll have an allowance of maybe 1 inch at the end of the day for the zipper allowance. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut. So for this part, I'm just going to go ahead and cut here. So this is how the skirt is going to be. I'm just going to open up one part of it. So I think I should use the part that is long as the back piece. So I'm going to fold it like so to get the center. Okay, so I can choose one part of it as the part where I'm going to be putting my zipper. So I can go ahead and cut this through. So please, when you are cutting this through, you can open it. Make sure to pick only one. Don't cut 2 parts of it open. Oh, be careful. Okay, like I said, be careful not to cut more than 1 piece open. So this is it. So this is how the edges of the skirt is going to look. Look at that. So it's going to have these pointy edges and it's going to come out nice. Okay, so you can also use your overlocking stitch to weave the end of the skirt to make it look neat, but because it's a lace fabric, it will not shred like that. I think I might leave it like this. It's also very dramatic like this and I like it. So I have this part as the opening for the zipper. I'm going to cut the short I'm going to wear inside of it, and that short we're going to be attaching it to this skirt part. Okay, but first let's cut out the bralette. You guys know I love making bralettes. They look good on me, so I make it as often as I want to. So I'm going to be using this fabric to cut out the bralette. So I folded my fabric into 2. What I have here is 18 inches. And mind you, I'm working for a bust 35 inches, okay? So 9 by 9 will be okay. So this is it. I am going to measure 9 inches on this direction as well. So I'm going to be cutting, I'll cut here out. So we have 9 inches by 9 inches. I cut out 4 pieces of 9 inches by 9 inches. Now normally if I was working with a fabric that is not transparent, these 4 pieces would be perfect because the other 2 will be the lining for the first 2. But I think I'm going to be using the lining piece to lining it instead, so that it will not be transparent. This is the bust area. I don't want to show the world my boobs. Okay, so first thing you're going to do is use this to create a triangle. Fold it into a triangle first. This is the first triangle. Second one, you pick one end and you fold it to be equal like this to get to this place, to be equal with this. Okay, and now I am going to go ahead and cut this through. We've taken out this part, and what I like to do is go up from this pointed part, you can go up say 1.5 inch from here, come down to 1.5 inch as well. Now what I'm trying to do is try to eliminate this pointy end by cutting through it. So I'm going to mark out here, I'm going to take out here like so. So this, we have this. Okay, so now I am going to cut through. This is one piece that we're going to be joining together. Okay, this is the cup area. So I'm going to cut out the lining piece as well the same way. So let me get our lining fabric. Here is the stretchy fabric I'm working with. It's actually stretchy on all directions, and I'm going to use this pattern paper to cut out the short I'm going to use to sew it. Okay, now this, because with the fabric we're working with a very stretchy fabric, I am not going to be making the conventional short pattern that we know. Okay, I'm going to be creating a pattern that will work just for this. So this is just for stretchy fabric. All right, now the length I have here is 13.5. It's too much for the short. The short is going to be very short inside, just like the name. So I'm going to be using a length of 10.5 from the waist to the hip line. From my waist to the hip line, for me it's 7.5 inches. Now because this fabric is stretchy, I'm going to be using 7. So this is where you're supposed to call your crotch depth. Okay, mind you, I am using this method because the fabric is very stretchy on all directions. Please note that. Okay, for my thighs it's 24 inches, which is 12 inches like this, but the fabric is stretchy, so I'm going to be using 11 inches. And from the 11 inches we will still have, okay, let me use 10 inches. I'm going to use 10 inches, and from this 10 inches we will still sew the dress, we will still sew the short. Okay, so what I have here is 10.5. I'm going to take this 10.5 up here, and I'll mark out the 10.5. And then from the top here, I'm going to measure my waist measurement. My waist measurement is 28 inches. So divided by 4 is going to give me 7 inches. What I have left here is about 1.8 inches, and I'm going to be using this 1.8 inches as the crotch. Okay, so I'm just going to be curving in here. I just want to create a curve here. This place is going to be the crotch depth. Please note that this works for you only if the fabric you are working with is very stretchy. I can't emphasize this enough. All right, now so from here, this is my waist area and this is the crotch I'm working with. So I'm going to go ahead and connect this. And then for the back part of this dress, we're going to be attaching a zipper. So I'm adding a zipper allowance because I don't want to mark anything on my white fabric. So I'm adding a 1 inch zipper allowance, so up to here, because the zip is going to get up to here. Now we're cutting this pattern paper like front and back together, and when I'm cutting it, I'm going to differentiate where the front. So this place is going to be the front, and the part that has the zip allowance will be the back. Please pay attention. Now also for the back as well, now the front part is ending here. Now for the back as well, I'm going to be adding the bum allowance. That's for someone that has big butt, or your butt, if your butt is really big. I'm going to be using 2 inches. I'm using 2 inches for this. Okay, so I'm going to extend this up to where the zipper will be, because the zip is going to be at the back, and I'll extend it to the waistline as well. Okay, and now I am going to go ahead and curve this in here to meet the front part. Now when I'm cutting this pattern, I am cutting it noting that one part of the pattern is going to be for the back and one part of the pattern is going to be for the front. Please note this. So I'm going to cut it out now. First, I'm going to cut out this back part. Also from here, I'm just going to rule a line to meet this one here like so. Okay, so this is our pattern paper. Now I can open this up like so, indicating that this place will be the back piece, this will be the front piece. Okay, so since this is the front piece, we are not going to be needing the zipper allowance for the front piece, so I'm going to cut out the zipper allowance. And also for the front piece, we will not need to extend the crotch area. Okay, so I'm going to first cut out this part for the front, then I'll take out the zip allowance. This thing I am cutting is not a standard. I am using this because the fabric is stretchy. Okay, if you want to learn how to properly cut a trouser pattern or a short pattern, you have to check the link in this description box. I'm going to leave the link on how you can cut your trouser, both palazzo and straight trouser pants, because I have all those tutorials on this channel. Please note that. Okay, so I'm going to be using this to cut out my pattern, and I'm cutting out 2 of this. Okay, so I've pinned my pattern, as you can see. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting this out. This place is the back piece, that is the front piece. Now because I used only 2 inches for the crotch area for the front, at the back I am going to be extending the crotch area a little. I will add extra 1 inch as the crotch area for the back. Okay, now this is important because our crotch for the back is usually deeper than that of the front. Note this. Okay, and so I'm going to be cutting the back like so, adding the 1 inch. So from the down part, I can add half of an inch from down here and extend it to adding 1 inch at the crotch area. So I only added 1 inch for the crotch area for the back. Now where I want the zipper to stop, so if I want the zipper to stop, say around this 7 inches, so I'm going to go ahead and pin it here. So I'm going to go ahead and start sewing from here with half of 1 inch for that zip allowance that we added. I'm going to sew the 1 inch, and then as I move towards the crotch end, I'm going to come down to half of an inch like so. And then for the front, I'm going to sew the whole of the front part with half of an inch, and I will sew only this part here with from 1 inch all the way to half of an inch. Okay, I'm going to be using this fabric to cut out the lining piece for the bralette. So I'm just folding it into 2 so I can just cut out the bralette. I'm just going to use one of the piece as a line as my guide. So I'm going to be cutting 4 of this lining piece. So I've cut out 2. I'm going to cut out another one. So this is the front crotch, I've sewn it, and this is the back crotch, as you can see, and I've sewn just here. This is the opening for the zipper. So now I'm going to open it this way, and I'm going to go ahead and sew the inseam. So I'm going to hold it down like so, and I will join the inseam. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew the inseam, and this is the back, the zip opening. And if you look at it, you'll see how high the back is. The back is higher than the front part, and of course this fabric is very stretchy, like I told you, on all directions. That is why I can cut it like this and get away with it. If you want a detailed video on how to cut a trouser, I am going to leave a link to it in the description box so you can check it out. Okay, and then for this one, I've cut out the lining pieces complete. So I have 4 pieces of this, so 2 of them together, and 4 pieces of this as well. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this side with half of an inch and sew all the bralettes before we put them together. And then I have this cut out as 1.5 inches. The length is probably about 15 inches, and I have it too because I want to join it together. This is going to be the rope. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew this and turn it into a rope, and then I will sew it and turn it with my loop turner that we're going to use to complete the bralette. I've gone ahead to sew the bralette, sewn it. Look at it, this is how it is going to look, but this is going to be the inner, so we're going to be placing the lace pieces on top of it. So I'm going to place the lace pieces on top of this, and I'm going to be sewing them together. So let me go ahead and get the rope first. Let me get the rope ready before we attach this. Also, I've sewn the inseam for the trouser, and this is what we have. And I'm also going to be joining the trouser to the skirt piece. And to do that, you're going to turn it inside out like so. And then here is the skirt. What I'm going to do is the opening we have for the zipper, you are going to just measure it. Okay, this is the opening here. So here I am going to pin this one here, and I'm going to go ahead and sew it the rest, and I'm going to go ahead and join the other side and sew it all the way to this part. Okay, so I've joined the sides. As you can see, I'm going to turn this inside out now. This is the skirt, this is the back. So I'm going to be joining this and this together. So I'm going to put the shorts inside, and then I'm going to hold down the zip allowance, joining both zip allowances together. And now look at this place. Let me show us something. This is going to be, and then the waistlines, we are going to join the waistlines together as well. Okay, so I'm going to find the middle of the waistline like so, and I'm going to merge it to this middle, and I'm going to pin them all around as well. So these are going to come together. So I'm going to go and join the waistlines to make it one. So I've matched the waistline together, making the shorts a part of the skirt, as you can see. So when you go in at this short is inside, and so let me show you this from this way. So when you open up this like this, it has a knicker inside. As you can see, it has a knicker inside the skirt. They become one. So this is like the lining of the lace now. Okay, so next we are going to be working on is the zip area. Now for this zip area, you are going to make this zip area equal. Where this zipper, where I sewed it and stopped, I am going to make a notch there. I am going to open it up like so, cut it close to the seam line. Okay, what this is going to do is help me to relax this, so I can now place this one here where this one stops, and it will just fit in perfectly. Look at that, they become a one piece. Okay, so you are seeing what this is doing. So they are going to become one piece like so. So I can go ahead and sew on this. Okay, this piece has become one part, so you can just pin it together. You do the same thing on this other side. Now because of that notch, they've become one part, one whole piece. So this is about 1 inch, and I'm going to use it to make a rope. I'm going to be using it to make a loop for the band. I've joined the waistline together, and so I've made the rope out of this little cut I cut out, the 1 inch. So I made the rope so tiny because I will use it as a loop. Now this is the band we cut out. I have to also cut out another band. This one is for the upper bodies. This second band is the band we are going to be attaching the bralette to, and then we'll attach this one to the waistline that is going to connect us to the skirt line. Okay, this is how it's going to come. This is how it's going to come. Okay, so for this one, you can make this the measurement of your underbust. My underbust is 27 inches, which is divided by 2 is going to be 13.5 inches, but I have about 14.5 here, and I'm going to be using half an inch to sew here and half an inch to sew here to give us the actual underbust measurement. Okay, and for the length of it, I have 5.5 here, which means at the end of the day it will come out to 4.5, because you will have half an inch to join the bralette and the other half an inch to join this other band. I hope you understand my explanation. If you don't, just pay attention to how I'm sewing it and you'll get it. So first I'm going to get the center, and I will just pin it just to mark the center, and then I am going to be attaching these ones to it. So I am going to pin this here like so, and then I'll pin the other one at the end, leaving just the sewing allowance. So whatever is left at the middle here, just go ahead and pleat it. So now you can cover this other side, because you're going to be sewing it here, and then you open this other side as well, and also place this other cup, here. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this, and I will sew the side. And for this side, I am going to take one of the loops, fold it in half like so, and then you can measure 1 inch from this band that you are attaching, and you are going to place it at that 1 inch. Let me open this and show us. So this is it, how it's going to look when you attach it. So this is my loop. I'm going to take the loops and I'm going to be folding it, and I will place it 1 inch from the top here, and I will pin it down. And I'll do the same thing for this other side. So you can now bring this one down. So I'm going to go ahead and sew here, and sew this side and sew this side, leaving just the middle part. So I've gone ahead to sew it. So now taking out my pins. Okay, so now I'm going to attach this to this one. So to attach it, this is what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew this place. And so I have sewn it. So you can go ahead and iron this down. Okay, so now I'm going to be sewing this here. So I'm just going to pick up this one, and I'm going to go ahead and join it. Sew it from one end, sew the waistline from one end to this side. So I've gone ahead to sew it. Let me take out my pins. So this is what we have. So this is our bralette gown. As you can see, our symmetric bralette gown. So I'm going to go ahead and attach the zipper to it, and then I will wear this and show us how it looks. I'm going to attach the zipper, and then I will style it on my body and show us how it looks. If at this point, guys, you are yet to subscribe to this channel, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and like this video and hit the subscribe button. You can also turn on the notification so that you get notified anytime I drop a new tutorial, which is every week. And of course, don't forget to share this video so that this community can grow. See you guys in my next tutorial. Bye bye.